One fascinating fact about ancient Egypt is that they were pioneers in medical practices. Ancient Egyptian doctors were highly skilled in surgery and dentistry, and they even had specialized doctors for different parts of the body. They used techniques like stitching wounds, setting broken bones, and treating infections with honey, which has natural antibacterial properties. Some of their medical papyri, like the Edwin Smith Papyrus, contain detailed descriptions of various surgical procedures, showing just how advanced their knowledge of medicine was for their time. Another intriguing fact about ancient Egypt is their use of shadow clocks to tell time. The Egyptians developed one of the earliest timekeeping devices, called a shadow clock or sundial, around 1500 BCE. These devices used the movement of the sun to measure time by casting a shadow on a flat surface. The length and position of the shadow helped indicate the time of day. What's even more impressive is that they divided the daytime into 12 hours, and they used water clocks, called clepsydra, at night, showing their understanding of a 24-hour day long before mechanical clocks were invented. Another captivating fact about ancient Egypt is that they had a form of postal service. Evidence suggests that ancient Egyptians developed an early system of sending letters and messages. Pharaohs and officials used messengers on foot or by boat to deliver important information across the kingdom. In fact, there are records of clay seal impressions that were used to stamp letters, much like a signature or an official mark, to ensure the message came from a trusted source. This network of communication was crucial for maintaining control over their vast empire, especially when relaying military orders, trade agreements, or decrees. In 2700 BC, the ancient Egyptians were already building the first step pyramids under the reign of King Djoser, marking the dawn of large-scale stone architecture. Djoser's step pyramid at Saqqara, designed by his vizier Imhotep, is considered the earliest colossal stone building in history. This structure was a radical departure from traditional mud brick mastabas, symbolizing a leap in architectural innovation. Imhotep, the architect, is also revered as one of the earliest known polymaths and would later be deified as a god of medicine and wisdom. This period set the foundation for the grand pyramids to come, establishing a blueprint for millennia of monumental buildings. Around 2000 BC, during the Middle Kingdom period of Egypt, the arts and literature flourished, marking a cultural renaissance. Pharaoh Mentuhotep II unified Egypt after a period of political instability, initiating a golden age of prosperity and stability. During this time, literature like the story of Sinuhe emerged, which is one of the earliest known narrative texts in history, highlighting themes of exile, identity, and loyalty. Architects also began to innovate by shifting from massive pyramids to more refined temples and tomb complexes with beautiful carvings and intricate details. This period laid the groundwork for Egypt's expansion in art, trade, and diplomacy, reflecting a confident and stable society. In 1700 BC, Egypt faced political upheaval with the arrival of the Hyksos, who gradually took control of the northern regions and introduced new technologies like horse-drawn chariots and advanced bronze weapons. Despite their rule, the Hyksos adopted Egyptian customs and integrated local religious and administrative practices. Southern Egyptian rulers in Thebes resisted and began efforts to reclaim their lands. This period of conflict set the stage for the rise of the powerful new kingdom in Egypt. Egypt was in the midst of the Old Kingdom period, known as the Age of the Pyramids. This era saw the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza under Pharaoh Khufu, which remains one of the most extraordinary architectural feats in history. The development of advanced engineering techniques during this period allowed Egyptians to construct monumental structures with remarkable precision. These grand projects showcased the centralized power of the pharaohs and the high level of organization in Egyptian society, influencing their culture for centuries to come. In 2200 BC, Egypt experienced the end of the Old Kingdom and entered a decline known as the First Intermediate Period. This era was marked by political fragmentation, as central authority weakened and local rulers, or nomarchs, gained power and autonomy. The unity of the kingdom dissolved, leading to internal strife and economic difficulties that disrupted the prosperity of the previous centuries. Despite the challenges, this period allowed for cultural and regional diversity to flourish, setting the stage for a renaissance in the Middle Kingdom that followed. At this time, Egypt was transitioning from the end of the Old Kingdom into the First Intermediate Period. During this time, the last significant pharaoh of the Old Kingdom was Pepi II, who is believed to have reigned for an exceptionally long time, up to 94 years according to some sources. His long reign is thought to have contributed to the decline of centralized power due to issues related to succession and weakened royal authority. After Pepi II's rule, Egypt saw a succession of short-reigning and less powerful pharaohs, which contributed to the fragmentation that marked the First Intermediate Period. Pepi II's exceptionally long reign led to challenges in maintaining centralized control, as many key officials outlived him and weakened the administration. Around 750 BC, ancient Greece saw the emergence of the polis, or city-state, which became the fundamental political and social unit of Greek society. This period, known as the Archaic period, marked a shift towards more organized and independent city-states such as Athens, Sparta, and Corinth. During this time, the Greeks also began to adopt the Phoenician alphabet, which led to a boom in literacy and record-keeping, enabling the writing of epic poetry and literature. This era is also when Homer's epic poems, the Iliad and the Odyssey, were first composed and recited, solidifying their place as foundational works of Greek culture. The development of the polis set the stage for the political innovations and cultural achievements of the classical period that would follow. In 700 BC, ancient Greece witnessed the rise of the poet Hesiod, who is often considered the first Western writer to explore themes beyond epic tales of war and heroism. Hesiod's works, Theogony and Works and Days, provided a glimpse into Greek mythology, daily life, and moral values. His writings also offered practical advice on farming and depicted the struggles of common people, reflecting a shift in Greek literature towards more diverse themes. This period marked the beginning of a literary tradition that expanded beyond the epic tales of Homer to include personal and social commentary. In the 6th century BC, the philosopher Thales of Miletus emerged as one of the earliest thinkers in ancient Greece, often considered the first philosopher in Western history. Thales sought to explain natural phenomena without resorting to mythology, proposing that water was the fundamental substance of all things. His approach marked a shift towards rational inquiry and the pursuit of knowledge through observation and reasoning, laying the groundwork for later Greek philosophy. Thales' contributions inspired a tradition of critical thinking that would lead to the development of science and philosophy. In 800 BC, ancient Greece experienced a significant revival known as the Greek Renaissance, marking the end of the Dark Ages. This period saw the re-emergence of trade and contact with other Mediterranean cultures, leading to increased wealth and cultural exchange. It was during this time that the Greeks began to develop their alphabet, adapted from the Phoenician script, which would revolutionize communication and record-keeping. This created the groundwork for the flourishing of Greek city-states and the cultural achievements that followed in the Archaic and Classical periods. In 790 BC, ancient Greece was in the early stages of what is known as the geometric period, a time characterized by a resurgence in art and the development of a unique style of pottery. Geometric pottery featured intricate patterns, including meanders, triangles, and stylized human and animal figures, reflecting society's growing interest in artistic expression and storytelling. This period also saw the emergence of a warrior culture, with scenes of battles and funerary rites depicted on pottery, hinting at the social and political dynamics of the time. The geometric period set the foundation for the artistic and cultural achievements that would later define ancient Greek civilization. Later, ancient Greece saw the beginning of its colonization efforts, with city-states like Corinth establishing colonies across the Mediterranean and Black Sea regions. This expansion was driven by the search for arable land, trade opportunities, and relief from overpopulation in the mainland cities. One of the earliest colonies founded around this time was Corcyra, modern Corfu, which played a key role in expanding Greek trade and cultural influence. These colonies not only spread Greek culture and language, but also facilitated the exchange of goods and ideas, shaping the development of the Greek world. In 500 BC, ancient Greece was on the brink of its classical period, marked by significant cultural and political developments. This era saw the rise of democracy in Athens under leaders like Cleisthenes, who restructured the political system to give more power to the citizens. At the same time, tensions were growing between the Greek city-states and the Persian Empire, setting the stage for the upcoming Greco-Persian Wars. The advancements in philosophy, drama, and art during this time laid the foundation for what would become some of Greece's most celebrated achievements. During this time, the philosopher Pythagoras was making a significant impact in ancient Greece with his teachings on mathematics and philosophy. He founded a religious and philosophical community in Croton, where he and his followers studied the relationship between numbers and the natural world. Pythagoras is best known for the Pythagorean theorem, which remains fundamental in geometry today. His belief that numbers held the key to understanding the universe influenced both mathematical thought and philosophical concepts for centuries. In 500 BC, Sparta had established itself as the dominant military power in ancient Greece, known for its strict social structure and rigorous training of soldiers. The city-state was governed by a unique dual monarchy and an oligarchic council that prioritized military excellence and discipline above all else. Spartan society focused intensely on training boys from a young age through the Agog, a state-run education and training program designed to produce elite warriors. This formidable reputation as a military state set the stage for Sparta's leadership role in future conflicts, including the Persian Wars and the Peloponnesian War. This period also saw the emergence of influential thinkers and dramatists who would soon contribute to Athens' golden age. In 530 BC, the Persian Empire was at the height of its power under the rule of Cyrus the Great, its founder and one of history's most renowned leaders. Cyrus was known not only for his military conquests, but also for his policies of tolerance and respect toward the cultures and religions of the people he conquered. This approach allowed him to rule over a diverse empire with relative peace, creating a foundation of unity across vast regions. His respect for local customs, as seen in the Cyrus cylinder, an ancient artifact that some regard as an early declaration of human rights, set him apart as a ruler and influenced the administration of future empires. In this time, the Persian Empire under Cyrus the Great extended from the eastern Mediterranean to the Indus Valley, marking one of the largest empires of its time. Cyrus established an efficient administrative system with regional governors or satraps to manage the vast territories, which helped maintain order and cohesion across diverse cultures. He also initiated major infrastructure projects, including an extensive network of roads, which improved communication and trade within the empire. This sophisticated organization set a model for governance that future empires, including the Greeks and Romans, would later adopt. In 530 BC, the Persian Empire was renowned for its advanced postal system, which was established by Cyrus the Great to improve communication across its vast territories. Known as the Royal Road, this route stretched over 1,600 miles and was lined with relay stations where couriers could rest and exchange horses. This efficient system allowed messages to travel quickly from one end of the empire to the other, facilitating swift governance and coordination. The Royal Road not only strengthened the empire's administration, but also promoted trade and cultural exchange across regions. The Persian Empire under Darius the Great was at its peak, stretching from the Balkans in Europe to the Indus Valley in Asia. Darius implemented an impressive administrative system, dividing the empire into provinces called satrapies, each overseen by a governor or satrap who reported directly to the king. To ensure loyalty and prevent rebellion, he also established a network of observers and investigators known as the king's eyes and ears. This system of governance allowed Darius to effectively manage the diverse and vast territories of the empire, contributing to its stability and long-lasting influence. Darius the Great is known for commissioning the construction of Persepolis, a grand ceremonial capital designed to showcase the wealth and power of the Persian Empire. Built on a massive stone terrace, the city featured impressive palaces, audience halls, and intricate reliefs that depicted representatives from all corners of the empire bringing tribute. Darius also introduced a standardized currency, the gold daric, which facilitated trade across his vast territories and strengthened the economy. His emphasis on infrastructure, trade, and monumental architecture marked a high point in Persian culture and administration. During this time, the Persian Empire fostered a unique environment for the exchange of philosophical and scientific ideas, particularly through its connections with neighboring civilizations like Babylon, Egypt, and India. Persian scholars and priests, known as the Magi, were respected for their knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and medicine, blending practical science with religious and philosophical insight. Zoroastrianism, the empire's dominant religion, introduced concepts of dualism, such as good versus evil, that influenced later philosophical and religious thought. This openness to diverse knowledge helped make Persia a melting pot of ideas that impacted both Eastern and Western philosophies.